All right, welcome back to Gunners Unfiltered with my boy Samir from Casuals FC. This is episode 11. First and foremost, Samir, how you doing?
Nigel, my brother, I've been good. It's been a long time. I think it's been like a month and a
It's
half.
been a minute.
The longest break we've ever taken, but I'm glad to
For
be back.
real.
I got so much to say. I'm sure you do as well. So let's kick on, my brother. Let's kick on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, the season is over, but I think last time we spoke about the Champions League,
Yeah,
second leg. So let's kick off from there. The second leg,
yeah.
Champions League. Walk us through that. The amazing time. What a time for us, you know. Just walk us through that.
I mean, honestly, like, what more can I say? What more can I say? But things, everything I predicted, came true. Like, it went exactly how I thought it'd go, and it did just that. Like I said, I wasn't surprised. I think a lot of people had too much faith on our team, our depleted team. Not only that, away at PSG, it
Yeah,
was always going to be a difficult game, a difficult
yeah.
side. As you can see by their Champions League final performance, the biggest margin by far of any final. So the better team won. And it's like I said. I mean, I don't want to analyze the game, nitpick the small details. The reality is I know we were gonna lose, and we lost. We were not good enough. If we had our stars, could we have had a chance? Maybe if we had Kai Havertz and Big Gabby, potentially. You never know. But the reality
Yeah.
is we didn't have enough to get over the line. PSG, like injured. They had no injuries. They were fired up. The players are on fire. The players are in form. And honestly, I'm not surprised they won the whole thing.
Nah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Second leg, we was at the bar hoping for a miracle. Final whistle blew,
Yeah.
and everyone was pretty much sad. It was rough. I was sad. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty gutted. But in the back of our head, we kind of knew.
Yeah.
It was the odds were against us, like you said, injuries and all that. But for me, I think at the end of the day, Arteta got outmanaged. At the
Mhm.
end of the day, that he got outmanaged. Didn't have what it takes. The tactics, the
Mhm.
late tactics, we saw it in the subs coming on late and putting in the defense when we need attacking. I'm not. He got outclassed
Yeah.
by a good manager, and it proven because he won the Champions League. So,
100%.
uh,
100%. And
yeah,
even to add on to that really quick, Nigel, it's actually there's something I want to talk about that really pissed me off throughout the game, and not only throughout the game, but throughout the end of the season as well too, right? I made a video about this on TikTok, and for the life of me, I could not understand. Right during the game, yes, we had injuries, but it was like we were playing like Stoke City, playing for throw-ins and set pieces
yeah.
and chaos football, and then to make matters worse, right, when we needed goals, we were already down, right? Hakimi just scored, and it was just, and I think who else scored after that, I forgot. But
Um, Doku, Doku, that young player, I think.
no, Ruiz scored actually. Fabiano Ruiz scored off a set piece,
So
and
long
then
ago, I can't even
he
remember.
scored, yeah. Uh, and and then I think we're losing with like 70th minute, and it's like you're thinking that Sterling deal is again one of the worst in the history of transfers in the history,
Yo,
not just Arsenal, but in the history.
I knew it. I knew it.
He didn't
I
come.
knew it.
He didn't come in. Ethan Nwaneri for me is what really, really pissed me off. And even after the Champions League final, right, when the season is far and over, you'd think you'd play. He still doesn't play. He's averaging like 8 minutes a game. So I'm not understanding it. And in a game where we need goals, to see Tierney come in, Zichenko come in, El Fiore come in, I didn't understand. I don't know if
Yeah.
a small part of me thought like that was Mikel's way of like showing the board, like, hey, this is what you get. This is what you guys deserve. You didn't back me in January when I wanted a striker as a in a way to rebel and get against what you guys are doing to show you guys your mistake. I'm gonna purposely put defenders and show you how depleted and short staffed our squad is because I
Maybe.
cannot
Yeah.
find any other reason as to why he was doing that. And even in my TikTok, I asked everybody, does Mikel Arteta, does he have a daughter that Ethan Nwaneri is dating? right? Did Ethan Nwaneri date Mika's daughter and break her heart that we don't know about? What does
I don't know, man.
what does Ethan have on Arteta? What is going on? What is
Yeah,
going on? It was shocking stuff to me.
yeah.
So that's one thing I wanted to add.
Nah, I can't wrap my head around it. It was very sad to see. Well, if it worked out, it would have worked out, you know. But at the end of the day, the final whistle blow, and then those subs didn't really make a difference. Didn't really make a forward difference to the game. So it
Yeah.
it was rough to watch, and kudos to PSG.
Mhm.
Transition into this game. I watched the finals over the weekend. Shout out to Classic Shirts. They had a really good watch party.
Mhm.
Super dope. The game was I kind of had it the other way. I thought Inter was gonna score 4 plus, and then PSG is gonna lose, and then it was flip. It totally threw me for a loop. But
Yeah.
yeah, Inter didn't really play with that much intensity. It really wasn't the the best finals league match I've watched. So it wasn't that much. I mean, other than the goals, obviously by PSG, but it wasn't too spicy.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was one of the most. That's funny. One of the most boring yet entertaining game I've ever seen in my life, or a final for sure. Right? I mean, 5 goals. That's a lot of goals, and I think
Yeah,
to a neutral, it's definitely fun to some extent. At the end of the day, you said it best. It wasn't spicy. You wanted to see intensity. You wanted to see a close game, a close matchup. But
yeah,
I mean, this is sad knowing that Arsenal or Barcelona would have made a better matchup against PSG instead of Inter.
100%.
So I mean, at the end of the day, them boys are on fire. I thought they'd win. If anything, I predicted a 3-0 game for PSG winning it. Ended up being five, and like I said, they stood no chance. Inter Milan stood no chance.
How do you think Mbappe's feeling right now?
It's so funny. I think I made a video on that too. He must be feeling terrible. He must be feeling like it's one of the
Maybe
funniest.
it's his fault.
I mean, it's one of the funniest like stories of all time. You're looking at a player that joins, the previous Champions League winners, right?
Mhm.
That goes to a better team, that wants to win his first Ballon d'Or finally, right? Age 26, a player that's deemed to be, we all predicted to be one of the greatest of all time, potentially
Yeah,
surpassing Ronaldo or Messi, maybe, but that's not gonna happen
up there,
now.
yeah.
But and then on the other side of it, when you flip it, it's like Ousmane Dembele, injuries after injuries every single year.
Mhm.
Barcelona fans wanted him out for many years now. He couldn't catch a break, and then you flip their careers around. He goes to PSG on the verge of winning the Ballon d'Or and delivers PSG's first Champions League trophy. So it's one of the funniest stories of all
Yeah,
time.
it's
It's like
football for you.
that's supposed to be Kylian Mbappe doing that, but it's Ousmane Dembele, and it's I don't know. It's sad, but I guess interesting at the same time. But no, I'm sure Mbappe must be feeling very, very, shitty. I know that on Instagram he congratulated them. I don't know if he means it. I don't know if it's a bitter thing. I don't
I
know.
think he does,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm sure he's feeling shitty.
Oh, yeah, he probably wish he was there, but,
Mhm.
I think that would all that eventually would probably propel him into the off season to train, to
What
just
does
give
it
it a
feel?
yeah, work on himself and just come through
Mhm,
next season or through in the World Cup, the Club World Cup and just ball out.
mhm, mhm.
But yeah, congrats to PSG on winning the Champions League, and that wraps the whole entire season as a whole.
Yes, sir.
Back to Arsenal. Uh, what do you rate Arsenal season as a whole?
Okay, so I'll tell you what. All right, before I even rate it, for me, this is as an Arsenal fan of my lifetime, right, supporting them. This is my worst season of all time for my lifetime, mind you. Like we finished eighth back to back. For me as a fan, it is my worst season of my lifetime. For me personally,
Mm-hmm.
but despite that, when you finish second, a team that finishes second and are in the semifinals of the Champions League, I'm sorry, like that has to count for something. So I think I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Right? I think I was leaning towards a 5 or 6 out of 10, but again finishing second in Champions League finals, semifinals, you have to give that team minimum C, right? An average 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I would best describe our season.
Yeah, no, fair assessment.
Hmm.
I agree. I would give it probably somewhere around 7, 9, 8.
Hmm.
Just for the fact that we found some gems this season.
Hmm.
MLS, Mazu Skelly, the Ethan Nwaneri, like
Hmm. Yes. Oh.
without without God forbid the injuries happening,
Hmm.
we wouldn't have found those gems, or those gems wouldn't have shined
Oh,
the way they did this season. So I look at it as like obviously we didn't get silverware.
yeah.
Unfortunate. That's the goal at the end of the day. But we did found some really good players, and some players stepped up like Moreno,
Yeah.
striker position. He held us down, scored some goals.
Hmm.
Stepping out of his element for the team at the end of the day. So kudos to them for doing that. But yeah, other than that, it is what it is. Like we all want Arsenal to win, and some at this point, I think it's just something like the Knicks. It's just a hex on us at this point. Like something's wrong. I don't know. Like, but we move, man. We move.
Yeah.
Who was your player of the season?
Yeah, that one too. That's the interesting question. I had a couple names in mind, um, but if I had to narrow one down, if I have to pick like the best possible option, I
Yeah,
think it has to be Declan Rice. It has to be
hundred
Declan
percent.
Rice. If Gabi was fit the whole season, right? If he wasn't injured in March, he would have been in the running for this race, I think. But maybe he finishes a close second. And then another player that I thought about was again obviously Bukayo Saka. If he was fit the whole season, I mean at the time back in December, to me he was player of the season. At that moment, he was killing it. I think he had like 5 goals and assists in the league.
Yeah.
So he was in the running for sure as well, but the injury didn't help. So it has to come down to one player only, Declan Rice. Julian Timber is a good shout as well too. He did very good.
hmm
Trying to think of who else. I know Raya. Raya definitely got
Yeah. For me, that it would be a toss up for with Ryer, like you said, Ryer or Declan Rice, because he did get silverware at the end of the season. He
yeah.
did win the Golden Boot along with Sells
Yeah.
from Nottingham Forest. So
Mhm.
he had an amazing season. He saved the bun. So
Mhm.
I would give it to either obviously Declan because he was in the Premier League Player of the Season and he was in the UEFA's Team of the Season as well. So he earned his ranking. He was probably the only player on the team
1,000%.
um
1,000.
on those teams. So kudos to him with that, and I think
Yeah.
it was well deserved. He definitely balled out this season, and
Mhm.
he definitely turned my opinion around from him because when we bought him, I think he was a bit overpriced,
Mhm.
to be honest, and you know we got him, so
Yeah.
and he's definitely shining. So
Yeah.
kudos to him.
100%, bro. 100%. I mean, he's
Yeah.
such a maverick, such a special player, unicorn. I think for me, like every penny was worth it. If anything, I want to pay West Ham more money
Mm-hmm.
because he's just that good, right? Brilliant.
No, fair.
Amazing goals, just a big match, a big game
Yeah,
player, a match winner. He could do everything for us, really. Tackling,
yeah.
scoring goals, winning headers, delivering set pieces. Like, what can he not do, right?
Yeah,
Just
he's looking like a solid co-captain for next season too.
he
So
better be. He better be.
yeah, he definitely got to be up there. He's looking like a real leader, and he's gonna establish. I think he's really gonna establish himself next season
Yeah,
as one of those grassroots Arsenal players. So I'm
1,000%.
looking forward to the next season with him. God forbid, injuries. That's the main thing with all the seasons that we always go with. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, back to the ratings. Arteta, the main man, the man at the helm.
Mhm.
What would you give his rating? And we'll do this not like a 1 to 10. Just give him an A, B, C, D rating. Just
I mean, it's
What
so
do you rate
funny,
him?
like with people, for people that watch my TikTok account, people that
Yeah,
watch this podcast that we have going on right now, right? My tweets, you think I hate this man, and I really don't. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I want to make that known to everybody else. I think he's a tactician. I think he's brilliant. He's a genius. But that's never enough to win in football, right? That's never enough. You could be smart and not
yeah,
be a great manager in general. So you have to understand. For me, since the day he's come in 2019, 2020 till now, he has never surpassed like a B plus for me, right? And with that being said, I think this season for me, he gets a B at best. He gets a B, maybe even a B minus, but a B. At the end of the day, like I still don't like his in-game management, as brilliant as he is a manager, and the system he's built for us. I don't like his in-game management. I don't like how he manages certain players. I don't like how he has favorites, right? He doesn't drop certain players because, again, that's favorites. Some of his recruitment, I don't like it. Some of the things that he says in the press conference, I don't like it. So there's a lot of things that, for me, as a fan, as an Arsenal fan, that Mikel could do better. And the reality is, you know this, Nigel. I've said it multiple times. If I had the chance to replace him right now, I would take that chance. I would bring in a different manager over him. I would bring in like
Yeah,
Flick over him, or Julian Nagelsmann over him, or Thomas Tuchel over him. Right? Actual proven winners that can, manage, a big dressing room, a big club. That doesn't have any kind of ego whatsoever. That's willing to trust a big player. That's willing to empower, um, you know, great Mavericks, great attacking players. So that's personally, that's the kind of manager I want for my club. So so I'm sure with my rating for Arteta, there's a little biasness to that because I'm not a big fan of him to begin with. Ultimately, with that being said, if I was to give him a rating, it would be a B.
gotcha.
Yeah.
No, fair,
Thank
fair.
you.
I totally agree. I'll probably give him a B plus just
Thank
because it's second, obviously, second reoccurring. It wasn't we made Champions League again, kind of pretty much the same as pretty much all the seasons.
you.
He
Yeah.
didn't get the eight obviously because we didn't win no silverware and we didn't get any finals. We didn't reach any
Yeah.
finals.
Mhm.
Uh, other than that, I think he did his best because he has no play on the injuries. Like he has no like say on that. He just do what he can with the plays that
Yeah.
So and I think he did well with the plays that were fit
Facts.
and
Pairs.
because of him
Pairs.
we get to found the Ethans and the MLS. He gave them a chance. So
Pairs.
and some of the plays that he brought in Calafuri had some really big moments this season, like for me that Manchester City goal that he scored for the season, that was a standout moment for me. It's still instilled in my head when he scored that banger. So um yeah, I think he did well. I think at the end of the day, the players have respect for him,
Mhm.
and I feel like once the players don't have any respect for the coaches anymore, I think that's when you lose the locker room and it's time to go. But do think the players do have respect for him. Like Saka, they really look up to him.
Mhm.
And the MLS, I
Mhm.
don't know what's going on with the Ethan
Mhm.
situation. Like you said, it's something behind the scenes that one day we will probably know. But hopefully it doesn't end up like a Emmett Smith Rowe or like a Wobie, where they leave and we didn't really see the full potential of the player at Arsenal. But
Mhm.
yeah, I would give him a B plus, man. Take that, hold that, and we'll see you next season, man. I still trust the process, and
Pairs.
I'm looking forward to it, bro. I'm looking forward to it.
Pairs.
Um, let's transition into the transfers. Now we're in the transfer window. The transfer portal has officially opened,
Mhm.
and we have been linked with numerous amount of players.
Mhm.
One, Zubamendi. First and foremost, tell me your thoughts on Zubamendi, and secondly, what is one to two players that you think we definitely need, and what position do you think we definitely need a player in?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, Zuby, like I said, I think he's a great player. I always wished we bought him instead of Marino last year. Ultimately, I think he's the best, Real Sociedad midfielder out of them two. So I wish we got him. I was scared, when Liverpool almost signed him last summer. I was pretty worried actually. So I'm glad he didn't go to Liverpool and join Arnie Slot. But yeah, like I said, a perfect Jorginho replacement. This guy, he will dictate tempo. Definitely a Mikel Arteta player, a Mikel Arteta midfielder. I think very reminiscent of Mikel's play style when he played for us at Arsenal a couple years ago.
Yeah,
So it kind of makes sense. And you're seeing this new wave of Spanish players coming through now. Since
Real Sociedad, yeah.
yeah, a lot of Basque players, but just Spanish players in general.
Hmm.
transitioning away from the French market and the other countries to more so the Spanish market now. So not a bad player to have. I mean, I'm glad to have him. Now, is he my preference? Like, is he the kind of player that Samir would want at Arsenal? No, not necessarily. I think I'm a physical person, right? I like big, tall players, dual monsters, dual winners.
Pause. Yeah.
Especially in today's era of the Premier League, you want that, right? I don't know if you know, statistically now, Premier League is officially the most transitional league in the world now, right? It used to be, I think, Bundesliga, but now it's like it's us. So you're seeing a lot of transition goals, a lot of running, a lot of carrying. So ideally, like with that being said, you don't want players like Odegaard and Zubimendi in your midfield. You don't.
Yeah.
You want guys like Morgan Rogers, Andre Onana is one, Carlos
Yeah.
Baleba from Brighton. Baleba, for example, bro, if you sign Baleba,
Baliba's
bro, that
he's a
is
bull, man. He's a bull.
he's a man. Like that's not a
Yeah.
kid, that's a man. With the way he carries the ball,
Yeah.
how athletic, strong, and fast he is.
Can
That's
I hold you up for a quick second?
mhm,
Just back on those transfers. So
mhm.
let's say Zubamendi's our first transfer in.
Yeah,
Um, like other teams like Manchester United, they first marquee signing for the summer. Cunha.
mhm.
Who else? I think there's another team, another player that's coming in for another team that's a high player. I forgot the team. But
Was
do
it
you think that? I'm sorry.
was it Chelsea? Liam Delap.
The lot as well, but I think someone else brought in a marquee signing as well.
Mhm.
That's pretty big. I forgot the name.
Oh, Florian Wirtz, Liverpool.
Yes, 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 and Freypong too.
Hmm.
Freypong. Do you think that is our marquee signing? Do you think that that should be our first signing? Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I've always known that we needed a midfielder. That I've known. I think we signed him back in January, so I know he was coming anyways. Jorginho leaving, Partey. I know he might get an extension, but again, like even with Partey there, we have Partey, Odegaard, Rice, so we need more midfielders. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah, 100%.
So I've always known that we need Zubimendi in or a midfielder in general, so I'm not mad about that. The remaining signings that I feel like we do need for sure is a winger and a striker. Right? A winger and a striker. Or a striker, a position we've been asking for the last, I think, 4 years now, bro. So
I guess that's what I was trying to say. Like, do you think that should be our priority? Like, should our priority be like the striker first? Use our money, allocate our money to get a top striker, a winger,
mhm.
and then use the back end to get to bring in those.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried because since January, like Fabrizio, David Ornstein, plenty of journalists, like they made it known to us fans that like, that's our priority. Despite
Yeah,
Zubimendi coming in, I think part of me, I was always confident knowing that like for sure, 1,000%. Even this year in the press conferences, Mikel Arteta has mentioned it time and time again, and I think the last press conference too of the season,
yeah, he was pissed.
he
Yeah.
was like, I'll see you guys next summer. The board, they know what they have to do this summer. He called them
Mhm.
out multiple times. So part of me always know like priority or not, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's a matter of who's coming in as opposed to is this gonna happen. So like I said, the next two positions they have to be a winger and a striker. It has to be a winger and a striker for sure.
No, 100%. I totally agree. I do think we do need, like you said, a winger
Hmm.
and a striker.
Hmm.
Striker, 100% asterisk on that because Havertz, you don't know how his health's gonna be moving forward next season, and Jesus coming back as well, with also those
Hmm.
that big injury as well. So you don't know how they're gonna pan out for the next season
For
if
sure.
they're still gonna be in the future or Arteta's rotation or like you know gameplay.
Hmm.
Um, but the thing is, I'm a little scared because knowing how Arsenal go, they might just pick up a Brighton Ferguson,
Hmm.
like or West Ham Ferguson, or like they were like some mid striker. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm a little worried about that. They just might pick up like a Danny Ings or something, So,
Yeah. No.
I don't know. I'm a little worried about that. Like, who would they bring in to fit, the profile of Arsenal? Obviously, it would be I would want a Gurkeres, a
Mhm.
Isak, a Sesko. Obviously, those three. But you
Mhm.
never know. Maybe a Taram,
Yeah.
Martinez. I don't know. One of them Italian boys. I don't know.
Mhm.
But what are your thoughts? What striker would you like to see come in?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me like my top two choices, is definitely Isaac and Osimhen. But that's not gonna happen. I know for sure, especially if we
Yeah,
get to the Champions League. That was that door. That should
wishful
not stay
thinking.
open.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like yeah, it's so funny. It's a question that a lot of people ask me, including my friends, people on TikTok or whatnot. And it's like you know, you're seeing this discourse on social media of like Arsenal fans battling it out, like, oh, we don't want Gyökeres. He's not ready for the Premier League. Oh, we don't want so and so. We don't want so and so. And I'm like, why are you guys so picky? Why are
Mm,
you guys so picky? Why are we moving as if like Havertz is not a striker, right? The reality is, Nigel, for me, right?
mm-hmm.
Wallahi, brother, I don't care who comes in. As long as they're better than Martinelli and Havertz, I don't care, bro. When I tell you, it could be Watkins, it could be Gyökeres, it could be Shesko, it could be anybody. For wingers, it could be Nico Williams, Jamie Gittins, Semenyo. It can be Leroy Sané. It could be. Trust me, the list is endless. The reality is, for me, my standards, right? How I look at Martinelli and Havertz is so low. The standards
Yeah.
are in the gutter to me that anybody that comes in, I'm instantly happy. Instantly happy. Now, do I have a preference? Of course, Isak, and Victor Osimhen. And for my
Hmm.
winger, yes, it would be nice if it was Rafael Leao or Nico Williams. But if that doesn't happen, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not, because the reality is, I know that I'm so confident anybody that comes in, anyone that comes in, is better than Martinelli and Havertz. Because in my eyes, those are
Nah,
active.
don't do the boys that,
No, I mean,
man.
no, like, bro,
Nah, but I feel you.
look,
That's fair. You
bro,
have
they're
your
squad
opinion, yeah.
players, bro. They're squad players, bro. These are not starters. These are not
Yeah.
starters in a top six club. They don't start for any top six club. They are not starters. They are squad players. They should not be starting at any top six club. That's the truth, bro. So,
Nah,
yes.
yeah.
With that being said, the players I think that will come in, I think that we will sign, are obviously Shesko and I think Nico Williams. I'm hearing that, but striker Shesko Williams. I mean Shesko. I heard it's intensifying. Fabrizio tweeted about it a couple days ago, so it's probably gonna be him.
Hmm? That's not a bad pickup. I'm curious to see how he would mesh with the players. So
Yeah,
he's like a full like a striker, like
a pure nine.
that's exactly what the fans want.
Yeah.
And if they get it, that's what Arteta's. Who can you blame now if it don't work out?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm here for it. It's gonna be an interesting summer. Definitely gonna be an interesting summer. But I do agree we definitely need some reinforcements
And doesn't
because we all see it every season, every season, every
every
season.
year.
It's gonna be
Every
2 to 3 players that go out of the season, and
Mhm.
I'm talking about first team players. God forbid. I hate to say it, but we all know it happened time and time and time and time. It happened, so we should plan for that, right? That's the smart thing to do if it happens every year, right? You're not gonna plan for it. Sometimes Arsenal, I don't know, like we all know it's gonna happen. Like we all know that we're probably gonna get another loan from Chelsea, right? We're gonna get another play from Chelsea. We all know that's gonna happen. It happens time and time every year. We're gonna get another player. Who do you think that player might be? I
Uh,
don't know. They have a lot of players to offload. I know we're gonna get one.
honestly, I don't know. I swear to you, I don't know. I'll tell you what. Like, this is my first summer where I'm not interested at all. I don't even care about what happens. Like, I'm not. I don't check my phone anymore like I used to. I remember a long time ago, I used to like tune into like the AFTV Daily Transfer News. I used to be on my Twitter checking
Yeah,
it
I used to be
more.
locked in like that. I'm still pretty much locked in.
Bro, now it's like I don't even care, bro. I don't care. I'm like, I'm just waiting until we sign and the season starts because I know, just like you said, Nigel, I know how things work, and I'm gonna let Arsenal fans know right now. Do not be shocked if we get Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea on loan, or
You know we're gonna get a player from them.
on loan, or Darwin Nunez Liverpool on loan. Don't be shocked if that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I could see it. Darwin Nunes. Yeah, he is available too. Yeah,
yeah. Or
yeah,
Watkins from Villa, a 30-year-old Watkins for 40 mil. Don't be surprised if that happens. I know this club.
yeah. I could see Watkins too. Yeah, I could see a lot of players that they might just hit us with a 180 curveball, just
Look,
put a
I'm just
opposite
gonna let
way.
I'm just gonna let time do its time, right? I think the fans,
Nah, that's fair.
when they've had enough, when they start rebelling a couple years from now, I'll be there waiting.
No, 100%. But overall, before we wrap, I just want to say, you know, it was a rough season, a lot of up and downs, but at the end of the day, we were together. We
Mhm.
grinded out, and yeah, we made it to the end. It wasn't the outcome we wanted, but we made it, man. We made it.
Mhm.
Uh Shout out to Saka first and foremost.
Mhm.
He did bits for us this season, man. He really put on for us this season, coming back from the injury, scoring automatically. Like,
We did.
yeah, they really Arteta stay putting them to work. He earns every paycheck.
Mhm.
But yeah, shout out for him. Shout out to him. Shout out to all the players that put in 100% on the field.
Mhm.
And just showed out for the badge. But yeah, we did our part as a fans to highlight it, gave our opinion on it. But yeah, I'm gonna swing it to you to just end it on a final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, final thoughts. For me, one of the worst seasons for me as an Arsenal fan. No, the worst season for me as an Arsenal fan of my lifetime. For sure, it has to be for me. It is. The second thing I want to touch on too, I think I personally think Mikel Arteta should be worried. I think this
Oh
is
yeah.
this is a season where I think he will be backed. He will get the players. So next summer, it might be kind of scary for him, right? I don't know if you
Hmm.
know, the Cronkies, they own the Nuggets as well, right? And they've
Yeah.
hired Coach Malone that just won a title for them. They won
Yeah.
a title. So that tells me like they're not playing about. I think this is Mikel's final year, in my opinion. I think if he doesn't deliver a Premier League or Champions League next summer, I do think they will part ways with him. I really do.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to mention. And then lastly, as well, too, I Arsenal. I'm begging you guys. We don't usually get our recruitment right, but we have to. We have to get it right this summer. We have to bring the right striker in. We have to bring the right wingers in. It has to be next season. It has because this is we're entering an era of we're seeing. I think for me, Nigel, this is the most I've seen. The most top teams rebuilding that I've seen in my lifetime. I think.
Yeah.
Well, the same
Man United, Man City, yeah. From
United and
yeah.
City.
Chelsea. Well, Chelsea's kind of like yeah,
So it's like we're in an era now where like Newcastle and Villa look more scarier than some of these big clubs. So
and Tottenham won a silverware too. Oh my god,
exactly. Tottenham
jeez.
won silverware. So it's like,
Chelsea won silverware. Like, come on, bro.
but even with that being said, they still had a very shitty season. So I'm not worried. I'm not too
Yeah,
worried. The reality is, it's like we need to capitalize. The last 3 years we didn't. 3 years ago we had an 11-point lead. We didn't capitalize.
yeah.
2 years ago, we were ahead of the league, ahead of Man City, with 5 games to go. We didn't capitalize.
Mm-mm.
This season, Man City, they were so bad.
And they,
We didn't
yeah,
capitalize. So it has to be this season. It has. The only team ahead of us is Liverpool. There's nobody else. Nobody else. So we have to
I agree.
capitalize. We have to bring the right players in, and we have to capitalize. Because otherwise, I'm telling you right now, next season, if we don't do anything, I really think Saliba.
Saliba's gone. Yeah.
No, those three players, Saliba, Declan Rice, and Saka, they're looking at their careers. They're looking
Nah,
at their careers.
Saka's gonna stay there for no matter. I think he's loyal
He's
to
25,
he's
brother.
different.
He's 25 next season.
I don't know, man. I
So
don't know, but yeah, silverware talks, man. People want silverware at the end of the day. They
see.
want that. They want that. So I
Now I'm telling you,
yeah. I don't want to even think about
you know,
that,
you
bro.
know what
Don't
it
put
is?
that in my head.
You know what it is? Because it's like I understand if Bukayo Saka was like a great Arsenal player, but he wasn't all that. But the reality is, he knows that his agents know that he's a top three winger in the world. His agents know he could be making way more money, winning way more trophies. So if Barcelona or Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, if they're coming to his agents, if they're coming out, I'm telling you right now, this loyalty stuff.
Yeah, money talks, bro. Because your soccer
Saliba,
career is there.
Saliba and Konate, they're moving funny, bro. They're moving funny because I'm telling you, they know like Madrid is the goal. Trent, a Liverpool homegrown talent, goes to Real Madrid. Like at the end of the day, if Trent that just won the Premier League, right, won the Champions League in the past, if he's leaving Liverpool despite winning the trophies, why wouldn't Bukayo Saka leave, bro?
Yeah, no, that is true.
That's
That
crazy.
is true.
You can't
That
be
is a
funny.
good yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Cup.
100%.
We're not winning the FA Cup. We're not winning anything with this guy. He's 25 years old. He's been with us since he was 18 years old. He hasn't won nothing. Hasn't won
Yo,
nothing.
but one thing, he love our kits. We always got the freshest kits. Don't you ever forget that,
What
man.
a
Don't
trophy,
you
brother.
ever.
What a trophy.
Don't you ever forget
What
that. We
a
got the
trophy,
freshest kits.
bro.
But
Bro,
yeah, nah.
that used to get me in the past. I used to buy the kit every year. Brother, I haven't bought a kit last 2 years. I don't care.
No, I feel you. It's totally understandable. Yeah, until we see some silverware,
Yeah.
some meaningful silverware, because our counterparts, the Chelseas, the Tottenhams, they all want it. So
Yeah.
it's sad to see. It's really sad. That's really sad to see Tottenham just get silverware. But yeah, it is what it is, and we move till next season. Yeah, please like, comment, share. Let us know your thoughts on the season. What grade would you rate it? And who would you think would you like to see come into Arsenal? Let us know.
All right.
Peace.
Later, guys.